Good morning, traders. It's Monday, December the 12th. Taking a look at the charts, we got the SP 500 futures daily chart here. You can see in overnight trading last night, we saw the SP 500 pop up, and then it has reversed back down to be relatively flat for the session. We are seeing a little bit of fear creep into the market with the VIX jumping 5% this morning. Nothing significant, but it goes to show there's a little bit of fear that there's going to be some selling in the overall equities market, and we're seeing that volatility start to rise. Now, if we take a look at what's going on here with the safe havens, let's take a look at gold. Here's gold. It's been forming this. It's making these minor new lows where it comes down. Let me zoom in a little bit here. It comes down, makes a low, bounces, comes down, makes another minor low, bounces, another minor low, bounces, another minor low. And it's done this a couple times, another one and another one here today. And this is the type of price action where it's trying to find a bottom. It has not yet quite found. There is some accumulation going on. It hits a new low, we see a bounce, hits a new low, gets bought back up, hits a new low, gets bought back up. These are these nominal new highs that are, sorry, new lows that we're kind of looking at, and it's a matter of we're trying to see if gold is going to find a bottom. Now, silver's got a much different picture. Silver's actually had a found a bottoms, had a nice pop, and it's formed a nice tight little bull flag. It's starting to move back up again today, and it looks as though it could continue to go up to around the 1750 to the upside. So silver is kind of leading the way with the most bullish chart pattern. And if we take a look at gold miners, Friday they dumped out there. They were set to gap down lower this morning down near these lows, but they've had a nice little pop back up to be relatively flat so far at the open. So we're seeing gold and gold miners are kind of underperforming, and silver is actually kind of leading the way with the most bullish pattern. Overall, this can be seen as a pretty bearish pattern. If this breaks to the downside, we could see another leg lower, but at the current time, we've seen a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down, and the market is trying to put in a bottom here from what gold shows. And the fact that gold miners have actually held up, they've been trading sideways while gold has been grinding more or less lower. That's a sign that there's accumulation going on. It's typically a bullish sign for gold. So I think we're very close to a potential strong reversal to the upside. Taking a look over here at energies, natural gas down 5.33% this morning. It's had a really strong run and breakout, and a little bit of volatility here. Starting to see it kind of chatter around, move up, big gap down, and sell down today near to the lower end of this range. We'll keep our eyes peeled here. This might end up being intraday if we get a bearish pattern here intraday. This is the daily chart, but this you could see this as a potential little bit of a topping phase right here. And we could see this kind of unwind down to the 330 area, potentially 320 area. We do have a gap window right in here that could end up getting filled. And of course, that also is right into this previous high over here, this other little topping formation. Now, this here, it looks to be something very similar to what we saw over here, a mini topping formation where it could unwind. You never know, it could unwind a much more, but this would be the first kind of critical level here, this 1330 area to the top of this gap window and this consolidation. And it's also like the level where this previous high was and this pop out, this breakout took place. So if we do get a bearish formation here, it might be a good opportunity for an inverse ETF for a quick drop down to this level, and then we could be looking for a potential rebound play up, or if there's a bigger bear flag formation here, then we could be looking for another drop to play an inverse ETF going forward. But right now, still in a strong uptrend, showing signs of topping, and it's at support. Now it's time to see if we get a bearish formation here intraday over the next day or two that could lead to a nice drop to the downside. Looking at crude oil, up 4% today. Nice big pop out, kind of breaking out of this this basing formation right here. Overall, you can see right across here, we came down, double bottom, big handle formation. Crude oil is breaking out here today. We'll see what kind of volume it has and where it closes. A lot of times we get these big gaps where it pops above resistance, and by the end of the day or the end of the week, we have a strong weekly close where it gaps up, it pops and drops and sells all the way back down for a reversal sign to the downside. So we'll see where this pop leads to in crude oil, but overall it does look as though crude oil has put in a major bottom and a basing formation, and today is the first day it's actually starting to kind of break out with some momentum behind it at this point to the upside, where 60 to 62.50 will be the next level of key resistance for crude oil. Now, taking a look at a couple other plays here, we're long corn, we're long BAL, which is the cotton ETF. So far, this is the corn. We've seen corn come down, put in a bottom, a little bit of a basing formation, and it's still been basing here. But short-term price action is bullish. And we had a nice strong kind of close here on Friday. It looks as though they're set to open slightly higher or flat for the session this morning. But again, this is building a base where we could see this start to rocket up higher into the low 20s if once we can get some momentum here and break out. Now looking at cotton. Here's cotton ETF, same type of thing. It had a very similar pattern back over here where it formed a little bit of a base and then exploded out of. And so we formed this much larger base and we got this short-term bullish formation. This formation here very similar to what we saw over here. And it continues to hold up at the 20-day and the 5-day moving average above the majority of this basing formation. So it is on the near support. And it looks ripe and ready for a pop to run up into the 50 or low 50 areas. We're just kind of waiting to see if we're going to get that kind of momentum and that break to the upside. Anyways, that's it for this morning. We're going to continue to let the SP 500 kind of unwind here over the next few sessions. Gold is trying to put in a bottom. The SP 500, I think, has still got a little bit more upside potential or sideways price action here. And I think we'll eventually see the SP 500 pull back here, and we're going to see gold and silver and miners find a bottom, and we're going to see kind of a relief bounce. I think there's a lot of shorting going on in the precious metal sector, and once it starts to rally, we're going to see a lot of short covering, which is going to create a knee-jerk reaction to the upside that we'll have to see what kind of momentum is behind it, but I think we could see a half decent pop. But right now the precious metals market is trying to wear everyone out, keeps grinding to nominal new lows, and it's just a matter of time before I think we have a knee-jerk reaction to the upside that will negate most of that downside that we've seen over the last month or so. Anyways, that's it for now. Talk to you in a little bit. Bye-bye.